Hey guys, it's Rich Boy Jay here, back with another video, and this is an exciting morning because we just got our first look into the new Star Wars animated series, The Resistance. The synopsis of the show basically would lead us to believe that Poe is sending a pilot Kaz into a spaceport known as Colossus to first spy on the First Order, and then second, find out if there are any pilots who are loyal to the Resistance, and I imagine that he's actually going to be seeking out pilots to even join the Resistance. So this is actually a pretty cool storyline, I feel. It seems like the bulk of the show is going to focus around these races that happen on this spaceport. I don't get the impression that this is something that is like sanctioned. I'm also thoroughly impressed with the animation style of the show. It is very high quality 2D, and it almost gives you like a 3D feel. I don't really know how to describe it, but it's not your traditional 2D show. Like, it definitely looks like it's high quality, and a lot of just like the drawings in the show look absolutely amazing. I think it's going to be a really fun show to watch just for the visuals alone. The show does seem to be generally lighthearted. I think that they're kind of going towards a more kid-friendly approach. I don't imagine that we'll see a lot of the darker themes that we saw in Rebels and Clone Wars in this show, but hey, I could be totally wrong. They could just have wanted to put the trailer out there and had it be more lighthearted, fun adventures, and then who knows what we may stumble upon whenever the show actually takes place. One of the things I find most interesting is that this show doesn't really seem like it's going to involve the Jedi at all, which makes sense. Like, no one really knows that the Jedi are out there, but it'll be interesting seeing a Star Wars animated series finally that probably won't really touch too much on the Force, but rather just the day-to-day lives of average people and how they're affected by the New Republic and the rise of the First Order. With that being said, that makes me wonder, like, how do people actually feel about it? I'm hoping one of the questions that this show answers is, one, do people feel like the New Republic is doing their job well? Do they fear of an empire coming back? Like, how do people generally feel about the New Republic? And then second, how do people feel about the rise of the First Order? Is it that well known at this point that like there is a force out there trying to become the recoming of the Empire, or do people not really know about it at this point? I hope that the show really dives deep into just how the general galaxy, the average person in the galaxy would feel about these things. It'd be really interesting to know because that's something that we haven't really gotten a ton of in Star Wars. Now let's get into some of the negatives about the show. I'm not thrilled with the way the ship designs look and some of the character designs. At this point, like upon first viewing, like there's obviously the familiar elements like Poe, BB-8, but it seems like the rest of the show doesn't really look Star Warsy. It looks like it's in an entirely different universe. Now, of course, I'm literally just viewing the trailer. Every shot is very short, so of course I will reserve these opinions until I get to actually see the show in its full entirety, like the first episode. But at first glance, I'm not really getting a really Star Warsy feel from just the way that the show looks, and it's really hard to pinpoint, but I think most people who are big Star Wars fans will know, like, if they see something like, does that look like Star Wars, does that not look like Star Wars? But like I said, we've only literally just seen a short trailer of the show. This could totally change once I see the show as it's meant to be presented. So at first glance though, I'm not really optimistic about just the way things look in terms of does it fit into the Star Wars galaxy. Let me know what you guys think about this. And then also, from the way they presented the show, it seems like most of the show is going to take place on this one spaceport. I do hope that at some points we do kind of venture out of this. I would love to see what some other, maybe even familiar parts of the galaxy look like at this point, just to see, you know, kind of the transition of things from like post-Empire era to what we get in Episode 7. It would definitely be nice to see some more planets and not just kind of be restricted to the spaceport. But with that all being said, guys, I am really looking forward to this show, and it's nice to finally have something in terms of an animated series or a Star Wars movie that is taking place after Episode 6 that isn't just like the episodic series. So I'm super pumped about this. This is, I think, the most interesting era for Star Wars, and for me at this point, just because like it allows us to kind of build things for the future. We're not just reduced to things that have happened before it, since it's not really jammed between two time periods that have already completely been resolved. Episode 7, while we obviously know what happens, there's still plenty of things that can be going on outside of what we see in that episode, and I think this can really highlight some of those things. So I'm super pumped for the show, guys. Let me know what you think about it. I think that this is going to be a fun thing to kind of hold us over because there's no Star Wars movie coming out later this year. This will be nice to bring us into the next year, and then of course we have Clone Wars and the live action series to look forward to next year. Like I always say, guys, if you like what I do, go ahead, support the video by hitting the like button, support the channel by hitting the subscribe button, and I'll be back again very soon.